Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my NHL 20 franchise mode here in the state of hockey. In the previous episode, we went toe-to-toe with the Winnipeg Jets for the second straight year in the Western Conference Finals. Last year, we swept them. This year, we beat them in 5 games to advance to the Stanley Cup Finals for the second straight year. So let's talk about the postseason for a second. Round number 1 against the Dallas Stars, sweep. We sweep them, easy peasy lemon Febreze. They put up a few goals here and there. The OT it was a 50-50, it was a coin flip. But we won. We got the W in the end, that's all that matters. Game 4, we kicked the hell out of them at the American Airlines Center. Yes, that's what it's called. Now, round number 2 got a little more interesting. The stakes were a little bit higher this year. The Chicago Blackhawks have been in a little bit of a retool the last few years, tanking, getting some top picks, some top talent. Just losing Adam Boquist a few years ago. But they came into the series with a little bit of hate. Since I came over to Minnesota as the general manager of this franchise, we have not lost to Chicago. If I'm not mistaken, I might be. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning. Haha. They go up 2 games to 0. They go 2 up. They go up 2. God dang it. It's supposed to be a serious video. They go up 2 games on us. Why was that so difficult? Oh my God. I press best lines on the team. I'm like, okay, nothing's working. We head into Chicago, the Windy City. We win 2 straight, 10 goals combined in those games compared to our 3 in the first 2. Then we go back to Minnesota, win 3-1. We have a chance to end the series in Chicago after blowing a big lead in the 3rd period. A natural hat trick from Gustav Slychuk. I'm struggling here. And then they win in OT. We head back for a heavyweight bout, Game 7, one of the biggest games we've had in I would say, to last year, where we won in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals. I would say it's comparable to that. We win in overtime, a slap shot of the century for Anthony Francis. Going into the Western Conference Finals, we knew what Winnipeg was all about. They had the offense. They had a pretty solid defense. They had a pretty solid goaltending tandem. We had their number in game number 1. And then they beat us. They whoop us in game number 2. That was all on Mackey. Mackey comes back with a 1-0 shutout. I'll give him credit where credit is due. That was a big game for us. Then an 8-3 victory. And then a 7-2 win. The goals didn't come easy the first, or a few of these games. You know, the last 2 games of the second round, it was iffy. The stats kind of derailed for a lot of these players. But I would say the Western Conference Finals definitely helped get our momentum back. Now we are here in the Stanley Cup Finals, our 5th Stanley Cup Finals appearance against the Tampa Bay Lightning. We will talk about them in a moment. But first, I want to take a dive and a deep look at what Minnesota has done so far through 16 games. Alexei Petrangelov is having a run right now. 20 points in 16 games. He's looking to repeat as the Conn Smythe winner. I'm trying to recall the last player to repeat as a Conn Smythe winner. Was it Sidney Crosby for Pittsburgh a few years ago? I'm not too sure. I can't really recall. I'm not sure if they gave it to Malkin one of those years or not. I'm not super sure at this point in time. It's been a while. He is playing the best hockey of his career. He's played way less games this year. The most games he can play this year in the playoffs now is 23. So he can tie last year. Another 7-game bout. Is he going to get 10 more points in this series? I hope we don't go that long and we win. Right? If we go that long and we win, my heart literally can't take it. He's sitting at a 95 overall. He's hit about his peak in his career. He is the man. Oh, you know what I didn't notice? He's actually down to an elite potential. I know he's 27, but how long has it been like that? You know what? I don't care. He's playing the best hockey of his career. I'm not upset in the slightest. Jack Eichel has also been phenomenal. I know it's already set in stone. Jack Eichel and us are parting ways this offseason, but I know he wants to go out on top for a second straight year here in Minnesota. It does suck that we're going to lose him. I'm kind of trading him out just to set us on a path so where everything kind of fits like a puzzle piece. He's kind of making things not work out like that, especially with all the young talent we have coming up. He needs to go for cap reasons, for all the youth. Obviously, we could continue winning with him. I'm sure we could work it out, but if we want things to work, he's got to go. But for right now, he is a pivotal piece of this franchise. And something that I'm just noticing right here, Lionel Waters is having a run and a half. I'm so glad we signed him to that contract. I think with this run, he's going to have a great offseason boost. He might even be our second-line center next year. I'm not super sure about that, but I think he could legitimately be a top 6 player very soon. Look at his offensive categories. He's looking like a phenomenal player. He's 23, 8-year contract at $3 million. That is a phenomenal player to have, and he's been great. You know, Anthony Francis kind of slowed down. He's legitimately slowing down this postseason. I'm not sure. He's been big in some moments here and there. He's scoring goals. Yes, 8 is tied for first place on this team. If we want to win this Stanley Cup, he is going to have to play the best hockey. We're facing a team that I'm sure is good because they're here for a reason. They're working. They're clicking. So we all have to click here. Cale Newman has been solid. You know, he's kind of in the same boat as Anthony Francis. Obviously, Anthony Francis is on a different pedestal, but he's also been good. 2-game winners, by the way. Louis Langweeder has also been pretty solid. Everybody that I'm mentioning has to be that much better if we want to win a Stanley Cup. Kirill Kaprizov, 11 points. The captain wants to hoist his 4th Stanley Cup. He wants it bad. After signing or negotiating a 3-year deal out of us at $11 million, he's worth it 100%. He wants to go out and win another cup to put in his cabinet. Sergei Gogolev, I think we've found the key to him. You know, he started off slow. When we hit best lines, they put him on the power play. He's been clicking really, really well on the power play. 3 power play goals, 5 goals. This is a moment he proves it to us. Is he going to be that guy for us? I want to move him into the top 6 next year. I think he's going to be that player for us. Maybe we transition him to the centerman for the second line. I'm not sure right now, but he's going to be that guy for us. Chris Griffin, 5 points. Pretty solid defensively. No penalty minutes, which is a huge positive. Pete Curry, 2 goals, 5 points, +5. I'm okay with that. Hadfield, I'm okay with that. Chubasov did get kicked out of the lineup there because Habibulin decided to come in and play a few games. So all around, the offense is pretty solid all around. Obviously, Pietrangelo and Eichel are running away with it. I mean, Pietrangelo with 3-game winning goals. He has been the man. He wants to continue being the man. He is the man. But everybody that I just said positive things about needs to go the extra mile. Let's talk about defense. Marcus Mironov is having the postseason. He might even win the Conn Smythe. If we win the Stanley Cup, I hope he wins the Conn Smythe, just because I think that would be really crazy to see. You know, he's been one of the best defensemen in franchise history, our first ever draft pick. Played in Iowa, came over to the NHL, has been putting up phenomenal numbers his entire career. Not even one off year. I mean, what was his lowest year? 46 points. Whatever, right? He's been the cornerstone of this franchise for a very, very long time. Same with Quinn Hughes. Marcus Mironov, on the other hand, is a homegrown talent. Quinn Hughes came over via trade, but very, very early in his career. He is the generational talent. Legitimately. Look at his numbers in the regular season and tell me he's not the best defenseman of this generation. He's better than Erik Karlsson. He's better than all these other guys that you just thought of in your mind. He is the man. and he's running the show right now. He's been great so far. Bissonnette is having a breakout season. I'm so glad we kept him on instead. Signing him to that 8-year deal at 5.1 is going to come back and help us, especially with guys like Brandt Clarke and Mironov coming off the books. Something that I realized not too long ago, Bissonnette signed an exact same deal as Brandt Clarke did when he came off of his ELC. $5.1 million over 8 years, which I think is kind of crazy, but Brandt Clarke, missed a few games, so he's on pace for about what Bissonnette is. He's been pretty good, though. 10 penalty minutes is a lot. He's playing a lot of time, so I get why he'd be put in those situations to get penalty minutes, having to stop plays dead, not players. Harry Parrish has also been pretty solid. I like what he's putting on the table. Ted Seguin has 3 points in 16 games, plus 8. I don't see him coming back to the squad next year just because of morale. He doesn't work on this squad. We have a lot of young defensemen coming up in the lineup, so it doesn't really hurt us. Goaltending. Now, I don't want to mention his name. Mackey has not been good. You can talk about his one shutout in game number, I want to say it was 3 or 4 last round. I'll give it to him. Phenomenal performance. That's the only reason we won that game. And Petrangelov. He's going to have to play some solid... No, the best hockey of his career. He is the legitimate starter of Minnesota this year. He has to go out there and prove why he's worth keeping on. Now, let's look at the playoffs and see how we ended up here. Obviously, we beat Dallas 4 straight. Thought it was going to be a bigger bout than that. Then we had a 7-game series against the Chicago Blackhawks, beating Winnipeg in 5. Tampa Bay started these playoffs up against the New York Islanders. Then they beat the other New York team in the Rangers, going all the way to Philadelphia in 7 and beating them. So they've had no rest going into the series. We've had a little bit of a rest. You can look at the regular season statistics. 40, 37, and 5. They had a phenomenal end of the season, 7-3 and 0. That's the only reason they're here. A lot of luck has gone in to their Stanley Cup run. And we are the thing stopping the miracle team this year. But what does Tampa Bay look like in 2030? And all right, Jack Hughes. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. No, Jack Hughes. I gotta be quiet because it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, but damn it. Oh, no. And Matthew Boldy. Oh, no. It's all coming back. It's all coming back to bite me. Oh, no. Okay. Let's start from the top. Jack Hughes, we were kind of forced to trade him away a few seasons ago. He ended up winning 2 Stanley Cups with us, having a few really awesome seasons with us. His breakout season right there in 2027. Comes over here to Tampa Bay, a few really solid seasons. Not the best defensively, but he's definitely helping them out here. 24 goals, must be the most in his career. 28 right there, but a great season nonetheless. Yeah, I don't like that. They also have former Blackhawk Alex DeBrincat. We have fought him before he decides to come over here to Tampa Bay. Actually, a few seasons ago. It's been a while since he's been on the Blackhawks, but he's been 86 points right there. He definitely can be better. He's definitely capable of being more than a 70-point player. And on the right wing, one of the best right wingers in the NHL today, 36-year-old veteran in Nikita Kucherov, looking for his first career Stanley Cup. Now, I can't recall if Tampa Bay has won a Stanley Cup in this simulation. I should probably keep notes on that, but I'm too lazy because I'm too busy screaming about my goalie sucking. He didn't have the best of seasons. What I'm seeing right now is a lot of them weren't the most reliable defensively, so I hope that plays a little bit into our favor. But he has been a phenomenal NHL player. 609 goals, 825 assists, 1,434 points. Yeah, he is their cornerstone. Second line, you have Matthew Boldy. How has he done since leaving Minnesota? He never really got a fair shake here in Minnesota, he goes over from Iowa, having a great year. Minnesota plays over half the season. Not a great year. Over to Syracuse, and he's been with Tampa Bay all of his career at 88 points a few years ago. He's been a really solid player for Tampa Bay. He's been really good. I never thought I'd see him in the postseason. They also have Dylan Hunt, who is a subscriber-created player, so ain't this funny. 92 points. He is a legitimate scorer in this league. Consistent 30-plus goal guy these last 4 seasons. Yeah, he is pretty. He's going to be tough to beat on that second line especially. They also have Maxim Kajakovic, a really solid right winger. That top 6 is dangerous. I get it. Bottom 6, they have Zach Dean, who was offered to us in trade a bunch of time this year. He's a solid player. They have Jesper Bratt, and then they have Steve Matteau. 24 years of age, left winger, technically a second line forward, two-way forward. He can work in the bottom 6. Fourth line, you have Brendan Saad, who brings a little bit of playoff expertise to this team. You have Joshua Hosang and Arturi Lehkonen. You know, their bottom 6 is definitely weaker. Obviously, that's how that works. But this is a solid offensive core. I am definitely scared of that top 6, so our bottom 6 is going to have to come up clutch this series. Defense, how's it looking? Carson Lambos, Connor Timmins, and then after that, they don't have anything super special. They have Rocky Lee. Ooh, that is a name and a half. One of the shortest names in the NHL. Has to be, right? My God. I love that. They have Martin Feveri. They have Andres Borgman. And then Yuri Vorbev. It's an okay defensive core. Definitely they've put a lot more money into their offensive core. They have their cornerstone in Carson Lambos. They have Connor Timmins. But after that, it's kind of run-of-the-mill bottom pairing defenseman. But it always comes down to goaltending, doesn't it? Their starting goaltender, Thatcher Demko, 34 years of age, and their backup is Kirk Arsenin. I can't really pronounce that. 34 years of age. He's been with Tampa Bay for the last 2 seasons. I guess he played a bit with Vancouver there and went over to Tampa. Played most of his career with Vancouver, coming over to Tampa Bay, helping them achieve a Stanley Cup Finals appearance. Okay, scratch players. They have Fogel, Kokkonen, or Slater Coco. Why was that so difficult? And then they have Yuri Tutin, who was just drafted. That's a shame that they scratched him. Really? Really, Tampa Bay? Okay, they are here for a reason. You can put every other series aside. We are going face-to-face with a pretty solid team. They're here for a reason. Let's get it done. Home ice advantage. Let's go. Let's go, Minnesota. First period. 4-1. That's how you start out the Stanley Cup Finals. Jack Eichel potentially scoring one of the last goals in a Minnesota Wild's jersey. Hunt scores for Tampa Bay to even it up. Bissonnette, a short-handed goal. I love you, Bissonnette. I love you. I love you so much. Gogolev is stepping up, and Lionel Waters continues his path of dominance here in the postseason. You know, you can say Eichel is he's definitely a top 6 player, but our depth came in big. Waters and Gogolev giving us a 3-goal lead. Second period. Okay, DeBrincat scores a power play goal, but Pietrangelo makes it a 3-goal lead again. Shots are 24-19 in our favor. Okay, Minnesota. Yes, Pietrangelo has been big, trying to get another Conn Smythe to his name. Third period underway, a 3-goal lead. Kajakovic scores early, and Francis regains the 3-goal lead. Brant Clark with a power play goal. Hell yes, their backup goalie was thrown into this game. We chase Thatcher Demko in game number 1. Jack Eichel with his second of the evening. It's 8-3, putting a stomping on Tampa Bay. That's probably not the best thing to do. Maybe like a 6-3 win, maybe a 5-3 win. I don't want to light a fire under their butts, but I will take a victory nonetheless. Jack Eichel with the first star, 4 points, 2 hits. A win is a win is a win. Can we keep the goal-scoring momentum alive? Man, Jack Eichel might even win the Conn Smythe, and we might even have to trade him. We're going to trade him. We have to. The plan is already in motion. Game number 2. See how this one shapes up. We're heading into Tampa Bay, potentially with a 2-0 lead. Let's see if they can tie this one up. First period. Oh my. Mackey with a terrible start to this game. Kajakovic on the power play. Dylan Hunt and Moto with a late period goal. Mackey again pulling his shenaniganery. Awesome. Thank you very much, Mackey. Shots are even. Second period. Okay, Newman scores. Matthew Boldy, obviously. Curry, Langweeder, and Boldy. We bring things... Oh, Boldy with 2 seconds left in the period. Mackey. Oh, Mackey, you're gone. Oh, my God, Mackey. Every freaking time. Every time. Every time. Every time, Mackey. Literally just hold on. That would have made it a 1-goal game. Third period underway. Shots are in our favor. Come on, power play early. Can we make it a game? 5-on-3, and we can't get it done. Another power play. Kaprizov. It is a close one here in game number 2. Jack Eichel ties it 9 minutes exactly into this period. 5-5 with a quarter remaining. Come on, Minnesota. Can we have a little bit of magic here late? We cannot. You know the rules. We don't jump into an OT frame if it's not the Stanley Cup Finals or an elimination game. And guess what we're at? The Stanley Cup Finals. See how this one shapes up. Game number 2, overtime. Here we go. A third period comeback for the Minnesota Wild. Can we cap it all off? Heading to Tampa Bay with the 2-0 series lead, or the series will be tied. Anthony Francis, who ended the third round with an OT victory in game number 7, has a chance to end it here as well. Marcus Mironov back out to Brandt Clark. Over to Hughes. I don't think that was... Oh! I don't care who it was! An OT winner! A point shot, I want to say... I can't recall who that was from. It was too quick to call. A victory in game number 2. That was so important. I can't recall. That was, I literally don't know who that is. A slapper. It was Brandt Clark coming back from injury in round number 2. A big goal. That, you celebrate that one tonight, and we head off to Tampa Bay. It's going to be a long flight. At least Tampa Bay has an airport. Haha, sorry, Winnipeg. I will take the victory. Easy peasy, lemon for breezy. Why do I keep using that phrase? Matthew Boldy tried to get revenge on his former team, but we head to Tampa Bay, the Amalie Arena, with a chance to take a stranglehold. We are 2 wins away from our franchise's 4th Stanley Cup. We know this team ain't nothing in the regular season. We are the team to beat. If you want to be the man, you have to beat the man, and we are the men. Game number 3, away from home ice, Amalie Arena. Let's see how it goes. First period. Oh, Minnesota! Jack Eichel really wants to walk away from this team with the Conn Smythe Trophy. Kaprizov, Matthew Boldy again, Habby Boulin, and Quinn goddamn Hughes. Yes. Yes, Minnesota. Yes. Second period. Oh, I'll take it. 4-1 lead going into the third period. Shots are pretty even, 21-19. Come on, Minnesota. 20 more minutes. You hold out for 20 more minutes, and you will head to game number 4 in Florida with a chance for another Stanley Cup. You will have 4 more opportunities to win this series. Nikita Kucherov, come on, hold it off. Power play, Langweeder on the power play. We've chased Thatcher Demko again in this series. Dylan Hunt with a goal. We should be able to hold on for 3 more minutes, and we take the stranglehold. We have them in a rear naked choke. Matthew Boldy somehow gets the first star. That is some Florida bias right there. We have scored goals galore. You know how this series usually tends to work out. Our offense is going to dry up right here and right now. Minnesota. Minnesota, the state of hockey. You have been the dynasty. Are we a dynasty yet? No. A regular season dynasty, yes. Nobody can beat us. Nobody can contend with us. We've been rolling out prospects here, there, everywhere. We've been rolling out goaltenders each and every year. Jack Eichel might even be leaving this team with the Conn Smythe. That is a plan for him to leave. But if he's leaving, he's going out on top. Everybody needs to step up. End this series, Minnesota. First period. Yes. Yes. Yes, Minnesota. I can't freak out too bad because it's 2 o'clock in the morning, but I'll take it either way. Kaprizov, the captain. Gogolev, who's stepping the hell up. Kucherov with the power play goal. Anthony freaking Francis. Demko has no answer to our offense this round. Shots are dead even. 3-1. Second period. Oh my god. Oh my god, Minnesota. It's time to party. There's no pep talk. There's no need to talk. There is no need to talk anymore, Minnesota. You have done it. There's no way they pull 4 more goals out of their butts to tie this game. Oh, did I speak to... If they tie this game, I swear to God. It's all on Mackey right now. 3-goal lead. Oh my god, Minnesota. Minnesota. Hey, Minnesota, stop. It's 3 goals in a row. Come on. 9th goal, Curry. Hell yes. They are trying to rally back. I want to say 3 straight goals for the Tampa Bay Lightning here in this period. Under a minute remaining between us and another Stanley Cup. Kajakovic with the puck. We should be... Oh, 3-goal lead. Sorry. We have a 3-goal lead because Pete Curry just scored. You know, the last few Stanley Cups have been sweet. You know, last year was really sweet. We kind of folded there for a few years. Still great in the regular season. We were trying to find our own. You know, last year everything came together with Jack Eichel. But you know, a lot of faces are leaving this season. The Stanley Cup is in the building. They know they are going to get to drink from Lord Stanley Cup. A lot of these guys are drinking for the first time. You know, Jack Eichel, this is his second. There's a few other people that are having multiple opportunities. You can look to a few new guys on the 4th line especially. They're getting their first taste, but just because it's just another Stanley Cup to the award cabinet does not mean it's sweet as hell. There's not many more words you can say about a performance like this in the postseason. Round number 2 is what defined us. The fight back. Going down 2-0 in the series, I thought that was it. The injuries, losing Brandt Clark, hurt us a lot. But a Stanley Cup is coming back to Minnesota. The repeat has been completed. Minnesota, you are the 2030 Stanley Cup champions. You enjoy the hell out of this one. Tampa Bay, I get why you were here. You fought through the regular season. You put on a clinic towards the end of the season. You made it all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals. You beat 2 New York teams. And then you beat the Broad Street Bullies. You know, I personally wanted to face them to get a little bit of revenge. But a win is a win is a win. A Stanley Cup is something a lot of people will never win in their lifetime as a hockey player. The majority will never, ever win it. But some of these guys are winning it for the 4th time. Pietrangelo, Anthony Francis, Kirill Kaprizov, Quinn Hughes, Marcus Smirnov, Brandt Clark. The list goes on. We've kept the majority of these players together. It has been hard. The cap has been a problem. You know, we've made some iffy trades in the past. I forgot the T. But it all worked out. A Stanley Cup is a Stanley Cup for the... Oh, and Pietrangelo is going to win the Conn Smythe for the 2nd straight year. That kind of surprises me how Jack Eichel didn't win it. But you know what makes it a little easier in the offseason to get rid of Jack Eichel in the nicest way possible, so we don't have to affiliate with him anymore. But because, you know, trades need to be made. But for the 4th time in his career, Captain Kirill Kaprizov has led his team to the Stanley Cup. A rookie sensation back in his day. What seems like a very, very long time ago, 9 seasons ago, he has lifted 4 Stanley Cups. Enjoy this one like it's your last. I mean, with this squad, this might not even be half of what he wins, but a Stanley Cup will never taste as sweet as this one. Enjoy the hell out of it. Marcus Mironov, he's won a lot. I love him to death. He took a hometown discount to keep this team all together, passing it on to number 6, Hadfield. 4th liner. I was talking about the 4th line. They struggled a lot during the season, but they were important. They scored a lot of goals here and there. Pete Curry with the 9th goal in this game. They were important. They were obviously very, very important for us. Everybody was important. Everybody stepped up. There were a few outliers. Even Gogolev, who we've had a lot of trouble with in the past, finally stepped up, scoring a lot of important goals. And the goaltender, yeah, we can talk about Mackey all you want. Stanley Cup's a Stanley Cup. 2 years in a row we've gone through 2 different starters. I feel like Detroit in the 2000s, where they kind of went through a bunch of goaltenders, you know, Hasek, Osgood, all them. But as I said before, this is going to be sweet as hell. Enjoy the summer, boys.